Quick hits. These are three things that I've seen in the news recently that I wanted to kind of touch on or comment on very briefly. Canada to boost defense spending. There's a 2% target, right? 2% of GDP this fiscal year. That's the target that NATO wants, that all countries that are members of NATO should have. And I know that Canada has been significantly below that. So we're going to look at that. We have a chart to show on that. Apple's WWDC underwhelms. Apple's annual conference that happens every June. We were all hoping for good things. We were actually expecting not so much, and we got even less than that. This whole idea of AI coming into Apple products just looks to be delayed and behind everybody else. And lastly, Canada tourism. Canadian tourism groups are telling people in the U.S., come to Canada. Even though we have some tensions between the two countries, we welcome tourism from the United States. So let's look at our first quick hit, which is Canada boosting spending. And we have one chart that I'd like to show with that. And it clearly shows how far behind Canada has been to the other major countries, NATO countries. You can see there you have it. U.S. obviously spends the most. Actually, not so true. I should take that back. Poland is the spending leader. It's a small country. They are in, obviously, Europe. They tend to spend the most, or they do spend the most on defense at this point in time. They've been buying a lot of planes from U.S. companies, from Lockheed Martin and others. And Poland is spending the most. You can see here, Canada is right at the bottom of that quick little list there of dots, but they're going to increase their spending. And what does that mean? Well, that could mean some nice contracts for some defense companies in Canada. CAE comes to mind. Perhaps some contracts out of the U.S., Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, General Dynamics, RTX, formerly Raytheon. These are companies that are known right across the globe for defense, and countries look to these companies to provide defense, whether it's planes, whether it's anything to do with ammunition, guns, and all kinds of things, drones, surveillance. This is what countries are looking at right now. So defense spending going up very quickly by Prime Minister Carney here in Canada. Our next topic is as I said, the conference that Apple has, WWDC, underwhelms on AI. We have a chart on Apple, and really this whole idea of a trade war, tariffs, and this I guess back and forth between President Trump and CEO of Apple, talking about President Trump wanting Apple to produce iPhones in the U.S. CEO of Apple saying, Tim Cook saying, that isn't going to happen. It's just way too expensive to do that. That coupled with the delay in artificial intelligence, and you can see how much Apple stock has fallen. Once upon a time, back at the end of 2024, beginning of 25, stock was over $250. Today, it trades just over $200 a share. So we're going to have to see what Apple has up its sleeve with respect to artificial intelligence and incorporating AI more and more into its products. Our third quick hit, Canadian tourism. We're noticing that U.S., they're not coming up to Canada as much. Perhaps it's because they're just afraid on how they're going to be received. I know many Americans love Canadians. They love coming up here. But right now, with the trade wars going on between Canada and the U.S., just not making the trip up here as much. And I think people in Canada are staying in Canada. People in the U.S. are staying in the U.S. But I think both Canadians and Americans are traveling to Europe. So maybe Europe is actually reaping the rewards of tourism with respect to these tariffs and what's going on with the trade war. We have a very quick chart here, which shows by car and by air in April and in May. It's getting a little better in May. People are definitely coming up to Canada more so in May. Perhaps the weather has gotten better. That also helps. But definitely tourism is down. I know tourism is down in the U.S. from Canadians going to the U.S. as well. So, yeah, this is just collateral damage, right? When you have a trade war between trading partners, best of friends over many, many years, trade wars, this is the collateral damage that you have, trade and travel. So those are the three quick hits that I wanted to talk to all of you today and comment on. today as well.